Well, so we're now ready to look at what the stories are as far as we're concerned on the various news portals. We start with foremostly majoronline.com. Serena Williams chases down phone grabber, and it talks about, well, if you need really a tip on how to make sure that nobody grabs your phone, very easy. Just read this very sports column. We have other stories as well. Nigeria renews MTN spectrum and license, and this happened on Tuesday. So that's good news for MTN Nigeria. We know that they were fined about $5.2 billion for flouting some directives to register their SIM card holders. The U.S. non-immigrant visa interview, why you must appear for a personal interview, is also available. And we know that I think it closed about 2 days ago. But if you get any of those internet links telling you that they can, again, register you, that's false. That's what's also the U.S. Embassy also put out on social media or the social networks as at Wednesday. We have Deputy Minister assures students, parents of smooth admissions into senior high schools, despite all the difficulties that many of the students who have gained entry into some of the schools are having due to the placement. Please, you're being assured that don't worry, and it's all there. And the Education Ministry is also giving all those assurances as far as for those candidates who wrote those examinations. A year of national sanitation still free in filth. Well, we've instituted this, but still, it's an opinion, and you just have to make sure you get onto the page and you get to read it adequately. We also have to look at GIFEC wants Goro Boys out of passport office, and the administrator of the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, Kobe Champong, has challenged the passport office to do away with all intermediaries, popularly called Goro Boys, in the acquisition of passports, and just make sure that you go through the right processes and make your acquisitions. That's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. Maritime pollution, lack of law gives oil companies a field day. Great day as it is. And the last, Mahama removed Shraj Boss, and this announcement came late afternoon, I believe. Okay, so now let's look at some other lead stories. We have this one, MPP leadership petition to show Kwabena Agyapong the exit, and we'll read this story to you quickly. It will be clicked very soon, and then we'll try and read. It just talks about how there's a petition to the MPP leadership to make sure that some card-bearing members of the New Patriotic Party piling up pressure on the leadership of the party to begin processes to oust the General Secretary, Kwabena Agyapong. And Mr. Agyapong, who is a close ally of suspended chairman of the party, Paul Afoko, also appears to have lost favor with some party members who elected him barely a year and a half ago. A petition to the disciplinary committee of the party dated November 2, 2015 and signed by 4 party members, well, wants him sanctioned for exhibiting gross misconduct and also engaging in deals tantamount to venality whilst in his elected position as General Secretary. So you just have to make sure you get onto the page, read detail of it. We now have to go to CTFM Online, and we look at some of the prominent stories there. Maintain ET Mensa. We will vote skirt and blouse. That is, if you maintain ET Mensa, almost like a threat from the rank and file of the NDC in the Ningo Prampan constituency. And then we also have Defiant Afoko appointed lawyers for MPP in if we can remove the cursor in court. And then we have Mahama fires Shraj boss Loretta Lamte and confirmed badge still stuck in Turkey and apparently undergoing custom clearance procedures. Other stories, we have corruption levels scare investors according to Send Ghana and voters register. MPP's allegation EC ignored infographic, and it's all there as far as we're concerned. So we have a lot more for us to talk about as far as in the news media is concerned. We have to go to Graphic Online, and it has a story. Utility bills Okujeto appeals to students to calm down. We also have Ministry of Education to investigate importation of China uniforms, and we know that the concerns had been raised by the Finder newspaper's investigations that despite all the assurance that the president was giving, really, the raw materials for the school uniforms really were coming from China. And so it meant that a contractual obligation with one of the biggest textile firms we have in Ghana, Printex, really had been reneged upon. 2 arrested. Students stranded at Wesley Girls High School. A school refuses them admission. We have KNUC student arrested for robbery. And then we have MPP NEC affirms a focus suspension. That was almost like 2 days ago, I believe. So those are the stories we're having currently. We have to go onto the BBC page. And we have dozens killed in South Sudan plane crash. And a cargo plane apparently crashed near the international airport in South Sudan's capital, Juba, killing at least 30 people. And that's the latest that we're getting. We also have bomb may have caused Egypt jet crash, and this story we'll try and have. Okay, so we'll try and look at, because the British intelligence agencies are concluding that the airliner may have been detonated in many respects, or bombed, because there was somebody who was on board, or a passenger who was carrying the bomb in itself. And according to the intelligence, it suggests that the Russian plane that crashed in the Egypt Sinai Peninsula, killing all 224 on board, may have been brought down by a bomb. And also that has been corroborated by intelligence information from U.S. intelligence sources. But they say they have yet to reach a formal conclusion on the subject. Britain earlier suspended flight to and from the resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, a beautiful resort in Egypt, from where the flight had departed. Egypt has already dismissed any claims by militants linked to Islamic State IS that they brought down the plane. Russian experts say it is too early to make those conclusions. So, very unfortunate, tragic incident there. Okay, so that will be it for all the stories we're looking at from the various news portals. Next, we'll have to bring you a lot more sports. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you. Do stay on.